Yeah, so as David said, my name is Mark Applett, and I am with SimSoft Solutions. I'm going to talk a little bit about, at the kind of the higher level, what are some of the changes involved in the new CA template. So first of all, we're going to take a look. This is the brand new template, and as you guys are looking around, and David kind of let the wind out of my sails a little bit by announcing that it was the same look and feel as the 2013. I did prepare a fashionable GIF animation here when I say, hey, you guys are realizing that that template looks exactly the same, and there's a good reason, and that reason is. On the look and feel side, things are pretty much the same, and all of the work was done pretty much under the hood. And by that I mean we focused heavily on the semantic markup, getting rid of some of those presentational classes that were currently exist in the template. So things like add side padding or arrow left or blue something. All that stuff is presentational specific to that particular template. We've got rid of all of that stuff. The old site was responsive, and we've actually increased its responsiveness. We're using some technologies that give us the ability to have multiple breakpoints, and what that means is that a site could have a different layout on it depending upon the type of device that you're viewing it on. And all of this is done with a single code base. You don't need to have a separate mobile version of the site. We did all of this on top of some open source technologies. We're a big fan of open source technologies. How many people have used Twitter Bootstrap or know of Twitter Bootstrap? It's probably even less of you that know about Grunt. These are great tools. Twitter Bootstrap is like the foundation that gives us a lot of the tools, the scaffolding in which to build our website on. Grunt is the task runner, so it handles a lot of the automation of building out and doing some repetitive tasks that you might need to do in your web development. We built it all with Less. Less is a pre-processed language. Some of this you don't really need to know if all you're going to do is just grab the core files and run with them. But Less gives us the ability to process CSS through another language called Less, which gives us a little more power and flexibility. And of course, Node, which is the glue that holds all of these together and allows us to interact with the operating system. And some of these automation tasks that I talked about. So how many people are minifying or concatenating their JavaScript files or their CSS files so you can take advantage of just a single request?
It mentions when somebody on the webinar raised their hand.
Oh, okay. So that's the power of Grunt and Less and some of these tools. It allows us to compress some of this stuff down for better performance. We'd really like to think that this version of the site is the most future-friendly version to date. It is platform agnostic, and by that I mean we're using Twitter Bootstrap as a framework or as a foundation for all of this, but we're not including any of that bloat that comes along with it. Previously in your markup, you might have span 9 or call SM6 to do your layouts. All of that stuff has been shuttled into the CSS, or in this case, Less. So meaning in the future, if there's a brand new framework, a brand new system out there, you can put that system in place and not change any of the markup, the actual HTML markup with your templates. Because as you guys know, updating those themes is kind of it's a chore. So if you can do that with CSS and JavaScript, why not? I'm going to say, hey, today is my birthday. I'm turning 30. And for any of you people who are laughing, you guys are probably realizing, hey, this guy is not 30. And that's totally true. But I did want to talk about 30 new modules that we've included into the new template. So in the past, teams might have to reinvent the wheel or rely on creating commonly used patterns, design patterns from scratch. You don't have to do that anymore. For example, off-canvas menus. If you're in a mobile view and off-canvas is the menu that slides in from the side, that's included with the new template, as is the original drop-down menu. We've got a number of other modules like accordions, tab panels, slideshows, carousels, photo galleries. These are all baked into the system now. There's also a number of commonly required, commonly needed content modules. So things like news, you don't have to create that markup. It comes provided. So news, events, exams, jobs listings, as well as the actual detail themselves. And one of the nice perks is if you are using the CA web publishing system, most of that content is being delivered through schema. So if you guys are familiar with schema, you know it has some implications for better search engine optimization or search engine ranking. Now, I've only covered a couple of those items. There's about 30 of them, but there is a style guide that shows how to use each one of them and some examples of how some of the options. Another thing that we're really proud of with this template is the improved accessibility for the template. There's a lot of work that had gone into to increasing the functionality and usability of the template for users of assistive technology, and we're really quite proud of that. Some of the things with like the navigation system has been overall to use ARIA attributes that react based on how the person's using it. So it'll add ARIA controls and ARIA attributes to say when something is triggered or toggled. So there's a lot of great work that's gone into there with like the navigation as one example, slideshows, tab panels. These are all accessible now, and previously they weren't. And because we are using JavaScript to handle some of that functionality, that is much more maintainable, and it also allows us to add those behavioral interactions to apply the ability to know when content is changed on the website. So that pretty much covers it in a nutshell. Hopefully I didn't stumble too much here. I'm not a professional speaker, but I do want to turn it over to Bhavik to talk a little bit more specifically about the CA Web Publishing.
All right, so thank you, Mark. My name is Bhavik. I'm also with Simsoft, and I'll be giving you a preview of the CA Web Publishing service. I just wanted to mention also that all of the work that Mark has done with the template and all of that stuff is all built into this web publishing services. So that it does use the newest version of the template, and you get all these features and functionality kind of out of the box. So give me a second here while I bring up the browser. And I'm going to log in here. Okay. So today I'm going to pretend that I am John with the California Department of Toxic Substances Control. He's got two tasks today. He got two emails. He needs to work on a new page for the Hazardous Materials Division, and also a new press release or news item for their PIO division. So as you can see here, this is kind of how the site looks. I should also throw out that we're working through a few things here. This is kind of a preview only, so some of the interfaces that you're going to see may look different when this is launched. You guys can hear me okay, right, in the back? Yep. Okay. All right, so the first thing, adding a new page. The Hazardous Materials Division had asked John to do that, so he's going to move over to the Hazardous Materials section here, and we're going to add a new page. And I have the email which kind of shows all of the content that needs to be added there, so let me just open it up. And give this guy a name here. These are the annual facility reports that need to be, the page that needs to be created on there. As you can see, when the new page is created, it's pretty simple here. No content in there. But the email does have all of the content that I need to add in there. So I'll copy the content here and paste it in. And the service actually also provides you with rich text editor, as do most CMS systems here. So you can see here for adding the main content. I do have rich content editor. My content authors were kind enough to write the HTML for me, as you can see. So I'll put that in there. And once I accept those changes, you can see here now that that content is now on the page. And that's actually about all you have to do for that. So now that we're done with this page, I'll save it.
Can you also tell that you don't need to HTML?
Yes, sure, of course. So yes, of course, the content editor it's a rich text editor, so you don't need to know how to write HTML. I had switched to HTML view just because for the demo I had prepared my content beforehand. You can use the rich text editor to do all of your content editing. You have various functionality in the rich text editor to paste from Word. I know that strips out word formatting. I know there's a lot of issues when you do paste from Word. Linking to other content on the website, pulling in images from your media gallery, all kinds of functionality in that regard. So you can use a Word-like interface to edit all of your content. All right, so moving on, John also has to add the new news item. So I'll move over to the news page. I'll show you on the home page here. You can also see that the latest news items are always shown on the home page. But I'll move over to the news page. That's this news from DTSC link here. And here on the news page, you can see that there's a couple of news items here. We have to add a new one. And it's actually interesting. Barbara Lee is the new director of DTSC. Sure. So I will. Grab the new news item here. Go over to this news section here, and you can see I have this ability here to add a new news item. So I'll click on that. Give it a title. And once I'm here, you can see that the new item is created with kind of no information in there. So I'll bring up the editor to add more information about that news article. So, oops, that's the wrong one. The teaser is that Governor Brown appoints Barbara Lee as the new director of DTSC. Actually, that's the title. I'm sorry about that. And then this is our little teaser. And the teasers are essentially those short summary items that come next to the news items when you're looking at it in that listing or summary view. So that's what's there. I'm going to choose an image that I want to use. And I have a couple of images I had uploaded earlier today for news. I'll pick that one. And then I have some content here. And this time I'll just actually take some text from here and show you how that works. So I'm not pasting in the HTML this time. I'm going to actually just clear out some of these tags here. And I'll leave some of that information in there. Once I add that in there, give it a publish date, set it to today. Say this was in Sacramento. Once I save that, my news item is now here. Because it had the newest published date, it shows up on the top. And can go and view it as a full news article so that you can kind of see what that looks like. Sorry, some of my HTML is still in there. Apologies. All right. So that kind of gives you a quick preview of the CA Web Publishing service and kind of how that editing, authoring functionality works. As David mentioned, it's all also security access controlled so that various folks within the divisions can gain access to their specific portions of the website, be able to go in here and use this inline editing interface to do most of their work. So with that, that was everything from SimSoft. Thank you, Mark, for the wonderful gift here.
There's a gift for everything.
Yes.